During World War II, one of these men captured more than 2,000 prisoners single-handed. What is your name, please?
My name is Guy Gabalden.
What is your name, please?
My name is Guy Gabalden.
What is your name, please?
My name is Guy Gabalden.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Guy Gabalden, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Camel Cigarettes. Now may I introduce our panel. First, Mr. Tom Poston. Next, Miss Kitty Carlisle. Then the star of the soon-to-open motion picture Sunrise at Campobello, Mr. Ralph Bellamy. And finally, Miss Polly Bergen. Now, panel, will you please open your envelopes and take out your first affidavit card and follow along, please, as I read it. I, Guy Gabalden, fought with the United States Marines in the Pacific during World War II. Although I was only 18 years old and still a private first class, I was awarded the Silver Star Medal for gallantry in action. During the Battle of Saipan, I single-handed captured over 2,000 Japanese prisoners, more than any other man in United States military history. A major studio has completed a motion picture based on my exploits. It is called Hell to Eternity, signed Guy Gabalden. Three stalwart men to start us off tonight. Panel, each claiming to be Guy Gabalden, Marine hero of World War II. We start this questioning with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. Number two, what was the actual sequence of commands for leaving a landing craft?
The sequence of command?
For leaving a landing craft. Did you debark from a landing craft?
Yes, an Amtrak.
That's right. And what was the sequence of commands for preparing to leave and leaving the...
Well, the officer went first, and we came after him.
Were you given a series of commands? Number one, were you given a series of commands upon leaving the landing craft?
I don't recall unless it was follow me.
How about everybody out?
Keep your head down. Number three, do you know the classification of the Garand rifle?
It's an M1.
How's it?
Kitty?
Number one, are there cliffs on Saipan?
Yes, there are.
Number two, what did they do with all the babies that were left behind at Saipan, that after the families had thrown themselves off the cliffs?
I don't recall them throwing themselves off the cliffs.
Number three, do you recall what happened to all the little children that were left?
There were no babies there when we got there.
None at all. Number one, how near is Saipan to Tinian?
I'd say it was, within 6 miles or so.
6 miles.
Thereabouts.
Number two, where did you capture all these prisoners?
Ralph Bellamy.
Number one, who's the commandant of the Marines?
Today,
Yes.
I believe it's General David Shoup.
Number two, who's the commandant today?
David Shoup.
Number three, who was the commandant of the Marines during the war?
General Vandergrift.
And what was your departure base? From what base did you depart?
From Hawaii.
From Hawaii.
Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number one, who produced this motion picture?
It's Allied Artists.
Allied artist? Number two, who's portraying yourself in the movie?
Jeffrey Hunter.
Jeffrey Hunter. Number three, could you tell me how, as Kitty started to ask it earlier and the bell rang, so don't get smart alecky back there. How did it come about that you got the 2,000 prisoners? I mean...
Well, it was a matter of conning a superior officer and letting him talking these prisoners into surrendering. Once we conned the superior...
So, on that note of conning, why, we will ask you to mark your ballots, panel, without any consultation because it is time to vote. And as you do so, of course, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. The team of challengers will receive, as usual, $250 for every incorrect vote. Has everyone voted? Everyone set? Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 1, Bud, and it was just on a hunch.
Kitty?
I voted for number 1. I don't really know how near Tinian is to Saipan, but he sounded as if he knew. And I think it's number 1.
Ralph, which one do you think is the real one?
Number 3. I think number 2 looks more like a Marine, but I like number 3's answers better.
And Polly?
I voted for number 3. They said I wasn't to say anything because they're going to run short, so I just vote for number 3.
Well, that's what I like about you. Semper paratus. And there we have it.
I mean, I have several reasons.
No, all right. The votes are in, the minds are made up without reasons, and now let's find out which of these 3 gentlemen is the real Marine hero of World War II. So will the real Guy Gabalden please stand up? Thank you, sir, very much. We're proud to have you with us. And number 2, somebody said you looked the most like a Marine, but you didn't get any votes tonight. Would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
My name is Alan Camelli. I'm a freelance writer.
Thank you, sir. And number 3, you got the other 50% of the votes. Your real name and what do you do?
My name is Bob D. Felice. I'm program director at the Long Island City YMCA.
Could have been earlier, but make it quick.
I just want to explain about the babies. My husband was on Saipan, and he said there were a lot of babies left over in a big pen, so I thought maybe you'd seen them.
That was after the Marines left.
Oh.
After the Marines left. All righty. Well, now let's check up on the score here. We find that there have been 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a grand total of $500 from Camels and a carton of Camel cigarettes for each of you. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night and good luck to you. You know, for most people, one job is more than enough. But here's a man who has 2 occupations and puts everything into them both. All right, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Terry Burnett.
What is your name, please?
My name is Terry Burnett.
What is your name, please?
My name is Terry Burnett.
Once again, we follow along with your affidavit cards. I, Terry Burnett, am an amateur fisherman. One day this summer, I saw a shark's fin cutting the water near the pier where I had been fishing. I grabbed my rod and hooked him on the second cast. For an hour and a half, the shark dragged me up and down the pier. Finally, I worked him in close, and a group of men pulled him onto the beach. He was a blue shark, 10.5 feet long. He weighed 500 pounds. Signed, Terry Burnett. Here we have a group of 3 persons of both sexes, each claiming to be Terry Burnett, who caught a 500-pound shark this summer. And let's start this cross-examination with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, what kind of bait did you use?
I used a 1.5-foot blue runner. It was a blackish blue. Blue what? Blackish blue color.
A blue
about
one.
this big.
Number 2, did you play this fish by yourself? No one helped you?
Yes, ma'am. Played it by myself.
You played it by yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you from?
Destin, Florida.
Florida? I see. Number 3, a blue shark. The make on the sand, is the blue shark the one with the white fins and the blue body, or the blue fins and the white body?
It has a dark blue body and white underneath. No, the fins are not white.
I see.
Tom?
Oh, thank you, Bud. Gosh, that little Terry in the middle there fascinates me. How did you manage to stay on the pier with 500-pound shark on the other end of your line?
Well, I just hung on to the rail.
I see. Number 2, please. A little wonder. What kind of a hook did you use?
9-0.
What kind?
7-0, I mean.
What kind?
7-0 hook.
7-0.
7-0 hook.
I see. Thank you.
Kitty?
Well, I'm terribly interested in this shark business because we live on the Jersey coast in the summertime, and my children are still there, and I want to know where you caught this shark, number 1.
Destin, Florida.
And all 3 of you in Destin, Florida? Destin, Florida, you 2? Number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
And number 3?
Number 3, yes, sir.
Number 1, what kind of a line did you use?
Well, 125 yards, 50 pounds.
What did the line weigh? What was the testing strength of the line, number 2?
50-pound test.
Number 3?
I use a 39 thread line that take 130.
Ralph?
Number 1, what other fish have you caught big fish?
Oh, I don't fish very often. I originally started out for the mackerel.
Oh. Number 3, does the term sport-worthians mean anything to you?
Well, if you're speaking about game fish,
The term sport-worthians.
a shark is not too sport-worthy. It's not a game fish. It's not a fighting
Number
fish.
1, does the term sport-worthians mean anything to you?
No.
Number 2, does it mean anything to you?
I guess it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything to me, I must say. I hope it does to you, Ralph, because it's time to vote. So let's all mark our ballots, if you will, please, and keep cool, panel. As you vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Have you all voted? As soon as all ballots are marked. Tom, would you tell us for whom you voted? Oh, I'm sorry, Kitty. I thought you... Okay, Tom.
I voted for number 2. He's a game little guy just to come on the show. Maybe he's game enough to land that 500-pounder. Something, anyway.
Kitty, your vote.
I voted for number 1. I don't know much about shark fishing, but I think she was big enough to be able to hold him till the men got there.
Ralph, your selection.
I voted for number 3. He started to give me a long answer in reply to the Sportworthians. The Sportworthians actually have nothing to do with fishing. They're a group of people in Fort Worth, Texas, who are backing the TCU football campaign.
I did too.
But I liked what he said anyway.
He thought, and I thought you said Sportworthians.
I did.
Oh.
I did.
Well, there we are. I forgot that the name of the place was Sport Worth. Molly, your vote, please.
Any other questions you'd like to ask? I voted for number 3, too. I hope it's number 2. I think that would be very exciting, but he seems a little too tiny to land a 500-pound fish. If he did, it's very exciting.
Well, there you have it. With our votes in and minds made up, if you're making up yours at home, make your vote now because you don't get any time later. We're about to find out which one of these 3 persons really caught a 500-pound shark. So will the real Terry Burnett please stand up?
He didn't know he was standing up.
Well, as a matter of fact, when he got off the seat, he was standing lower than he was when he got Terry, you heard Polly and some of them say they didn't believe that you could hang on to that thing, so I'm going to show them because we have a picture right here. I want you to see quickly just to prove it.
Oh.
There's the young man with the fish that he caught right there. Isn't that something? How old is he? Well, suppose you ask him how old he is, Terry.
How old are you, Terry?
12.
He's 12.
12?
Well,
Bud
you
says
know.
he's 35.
Who says?
Bud said you were 35, and I just wanted to make sure.
All right.
He's
Now, let's
12.
find out about the others who got most of the votes
Where?
between them. Number 1, you tell us your real name, what you really do?
My name is Jill Hall, and I'm a professional swimmer at the Aquarama.
Thank you. Or I expect you'd rather be tonight. It'd be a lot cooler there. And number 3, you got the most votes. Your real name and what you do.
My name is Eugene Kelly. I'm president of the Eyelet Printing Company in New York City.
Thank you, sir. And we check our score and find that there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each. Look at the grin on his face when he hears it. For a grand total of $750 from Camels. Thank you very much for being with us. Hope you had fun. Good fishing. Night. Now imagine, if you will, that I'm dressed in a complete cowboy outfit, including my trusty gun. Looks like the beginning of a Western, doesn't it, huh? Well, how about this? Now, panel, let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alfred DeLage.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alfred DeLage.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alfred DeLage.
Again, panel, will you follow along with your affidavit cards? I, Alfred DeLage, have been a professional magician since I was 14 years old. I design and build my own magic illusions, such as Rollo the Rambling Rabbit, the Vanishing Girl, and the Houdini Trunk Mystery, which I will perform for you tonight. I also originated the fastest trick in the world. Since my act moves at the rate of 1 trick a minute, I am billed as America's fastest magician. Signed, Alfred DeLage. 3 gentlemen, all claiming to be the hand is quicker than the eye, Alfred DeLage, magician. And we start this round off with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, where did you learn to perform your magic?
Well, I started at the age of 14. My father ran the original Joseph Eudoklin Carnival.
Where was this?
This was in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
I see. Number 2, did Mr. Houdini ever give any of his secrets to anyone before he died?
Well, he gave them to other magicians.
He did?
Yes.
Number 3, what is Rollo the Rambling Rabbit trick?
I can't tell you the secret of the trick. I can describe the effect.
Are you American, number 3?
Yes, I am.
And did you come from Pennsylvania, too?
No, I didn't.
Where did you come from?
New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Ralph?
Number 1, when and where did magic originate? Does anyone know?
Magic had its origin in earliest Phoenician times, literally. It was passed down gradually to the Greeks and therefore to the Romans.
Number 2, what promise did Houdini make to the spiritualists before he died?
He promised that eventually he would come back.
Number 3, who was the greatest magician when you started at the age of 14? Who was
Well, I hate to brag.
I'm talking about before that, at the time you started.
I'm sorry, Ralph, the bell rang. You didn't hear it in the laugh, and I don't blame you. Polly.
Number 3, is there a school you go to learn to become a magician, or is it just something that you develop yourself?
Most magicians develop it themselves. There is several schools that you can attend.
I see. Number 2, do you buy most of your tricks, or do you make most of your own tricks?
I make most of my own tricks, but they can be bought.
I see. Number 1, is there a law that
Tom
you're not allowed to
Poston,
give any of the
please.
tricks away to anybody
Tom
else?
Poston, please. Tom Poston, please.
Number 3, how can Polly talk so fast? Number 3, do you know the name of the great comic who uses magic as part of his act?
As part of Ballantyne? The Great Ballantyne?
The Great Ballantyne,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Number 2, what is the more formal name for sleight of hand?
Well, a prejudicatator or a conjurer.
Or a tongue twister.
Here we are, panel, okay. Votes are in. We're about to make them now to mark your ballots, if you will, please. And as you vote, as before, you will please, without consultation, mark for number 1, for number 2, or for number 3. Let me know, if you will, as soon as you've all marked your ballots. We have much to do.
I know. I know.
You marked down? Everybody? Okay. Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3 because During the voting, he kept trying to hypnotize me into voting for number 2.
And Kitty?
I voted for number 1. I don't think number 3 is an American, and number 2 said Houdini was going to come back, and that's the one thing he said he wouldn't do. He always exposed spiritualists and said that he couldn't come back. So I voted for number 1.
Ralph?
Number 3. Mainly by elimination. Number 1 seemed a little glib, and number 2, the Houdini thing, the same thing, and he had a little trouble with that tongue twister, too.
Polly?
Number 3.
And that's it.
Yes, because they're going to do a trick, and I'm not supposed to say anything.
Well, you're right. We are, as a matter of fact. With the votes all in, the mind's made up. We're going to find out which of these 3 gentlemen is the real magician, Alfred DeLage. First, however, I'd like you to meet Mr. DeLage's assistant. And now, gentlemen, will you please proceed with the Houdini trunk mystery? Duck your heads, gentlemen. The girls are about to close you in the trunks, and then they are about to lock all of the latches, including the one that opens only with a key. Now, each girl will take this curtain, which will hang like a shower curtain over everything after they get up on top of each trunk, which they will do now. I'll get it for you. Mm-hmm. All right, now, will the real Alfred DeLage please stand up? Thank you, sir. Congratulations. I do. I'd like to meet our other 2 assistants, Miss Pat Lordier and Miss Eleanor Paget. Thank you. Now, I know, as maybe the audience has guessed now, that your own actual assistant is really your wife.
That's right.
We've located these 2. Where is your wife?
My wife is in the trunk. Get her out.
Bravo. Well, I guess that's all. No, we have the other 2 men, don't we? Almost forgot them, dear boy.
Oh, come on. That's
If anybody has the key to this one, I'd like to have it, because I don't have it here.
Here's the key.
Thank you very much. Boy, had you worried in there for a minute, I'm sure. This open. That. And we'll open up, and there you are. Wow. I'd like to be in there tonight. Now, what is your real name, and what do you really do, sir?
Dr. Jed Hudson, chiropractor.
Chiropractor? You'll need one of your own treatments. All right, now, this next one here, hope I don't have this trouble again. Are you still in there? I'm having trouble with the key. Don't plan anything.
Don't plan anything?
Oh, there we are. There we are. Oh, boy. Well, we have your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Robert Fine. I'm a trunk salesman for the Oshkosh Trunk Company.
I bet there's one thing you wish your trunk company had done.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. Let's double check on the score here and see what we have. We had 1, 2, 3 correct. Only 1 incorrect at $250 in Camel cigarettes. Not only a carton of Camels for each of you, lady and gentlemen,
but may I say our deep thanks for a wonderful performance and a grand evening. Thanks so much for being with us. Good night. God bless you. I don't think I could even get in one of those two.
Oh, it was frightening, I think.
Oh, you knew how warm it was here, but we are now. You know how we feel about those three gentlemen. All right. Well, that was a good game, and I hope you thought it was worthwhile chopping the time down for.
Oh, it
Polly.
was. Yes. It was marvelous.
It was a good show. All right.
Did they beat the clock?
Yes, they beat the clock, I would say. Now, what is the softest, silkiest thing you can imagine? Satin, mink, or perhaps a little girl's hair? That's all the time we have for this week, except we're happy to know we'll see you all again next week. And all of you folks who are watching our show, remember, where traffic laws are obeyed, deaths go down. Obey the laws, drive carefully, especially this weekend. Good night, panel.
Good night.
Bud Collier saying good night from Camel Cigarettes and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network.